inside the line. That ball was hitting his thumb. That's a lefty. What a monster.
You know, coming on here tonight, I was trying to figure out what to talk about to get this started. But it never fails. Somebody in Baton Rouge media finds a way to keep discussion going. Today, my good buddy LaCobra decided to feed me some information on X and reposted Matt Moscona on Locked On LSU, talking about the transparency Brian Kelly had. And now you realize I will never truly understand LSU fans. Never. When you watch someone stream, when you subscribe to their X, YouTube, you decide with your dollar to support somebody. A lot of people support Matt Moscona. And if you've watched me on previous streams, you know I'm not the biggest fan of Matt Moscona. I feel like a lot of his stuff has changed and it's not as good as it used to be. Let's talk about what he had to talk about today, that BK was a transparent coach when he had control of the program. No, he didn't, Matt. No, he didn't. He called LSU fans spoiled, reporters spoiled for expecting a good product on the field. Was he transparent when he spoke about the golf rounds he played instead of being at the facility? Was he transparent about Garrett Nussmeier's injury? Was he transparent about the status of the offensive line and Joe Sloan taking the job from like Denbrock leaving because he had to have Joe Sloan attached to him per Brian Kelly? There's a lot of things he was not transparent about. And I'm honestly tired of people in the Baton Rouge media supporting these people. I'm not saying to come get your news from me. I'll be honest with you. I don't have sources. Everything you're going to hear me say until the day I get a source, which will probably never happen, will be my own opinion. I plan on coming to give you my opinion as often as I can. I was bullied into making this show by you know who. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it fine. But back to the Baton Rouge media and the LSU fan base. If you keep supporting people who lie to you, who decide to talk out of their rear end, what are you waiting on? What are you complaining about when they tell you something wrong? Everyone's mad that Matt McMahon is still the head basketball coach of the team. Well, if you listen to Moscona, he's going to be the head coach of the basketball team next year. Now, I'm not going to talk about basketball much on this channel. I'm sorry to tell you, I don't know it that well. But if you keep listening to Moscona, you're stuck with Matt McMahon. I'm happy the BK era is over. I'm sorry to bring up the BK era again. I know we're in a new era with Lane Kiffin. But I'm hoping that as the BK era goes, the fan base decides to change their ways and start listening to people who care about the program, who care about our Tigers. People like Blake Ruffino and AYS Sports, Tingler Co. with Noah Tingle and Lloyd Courtney, AP with Timeouts and Tangents, David Billiot with Go Deep Dive and his writings with the Go Team. Guys who care, who are going to take their time to bring you the best information they can figure out. Because I promise you, most of the people on there, except for Blake and probably Noah, are trying to read tea leaves. And they get it right more than Moscona does. So, if you don't like what I said about Moscona, you're more than welcome to leave the stream. Nevertheless, we are here tonight. Let's see what we have in the chat. We got David Billiot here saying, let's go. I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Cobra, gang, gang. That's right. That's right. Gang, gang. By the way, let me get back to this. Y'all know, I got to say this. Cobra has got to be the luckiest SOB on the planet. This man, the first, let's see, 6 games of the year was spent in great seats by a third base dugout. Then, what was that, Cobra? 1, 2, 3 nights in a suite. Then he was in the loge on the right field line. Luckiest man in the world when it comes to seats in Alex Box. Make sure you go follow him. My buddy Nick Curry, the man with the graphics. Gang, gang. I like it. I like it. Is that going to be our thing? Gang, gang on here? I know I was calling everybody sickos a while back, and I thought, maybe I should change that. Sicko sounds kind of weird. Babbitt on the Bayou. What's up, my man? Let's go. Make sure you, after this stream, y'all come and check me out on Babbitt on the Bayou. I'm going to be streaming with Babbitt for his first live stream. It's going to be on YouTube. We will be on YouTube as well from now on. YouTube is being stupid and not letting me stream tonight on YouTube. There's a time frame. I'm learning this as I go. And there's a lot of things David does not let me forget. By the way, David was kind enough. He has a little girl send me a video saying, break a leg, good job. But I made him buy her ice cream. I did. I made him buy her ice cream for that. Now, let's get back on to the LSU. Well, before we get to there, down and below in the ticker, as you see it, you have the X channels and the YouTube channel for this. So you have my personal X channel, which is Paul Jarrett 16, and you have Walk It Off Talk. They didn't have Walk It Off available, but Walk It Off Talk. Same goes for YouTube, Walk It Off Talk. Make sure you follow those pages and subscribe. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. As well in the ticker, you will see, one second. It's going to stay on my personal X channel. I showed it last night on stream with AP. The signed William Schmidt baseball. If you want this, which I know a lot of you do. I'm sorry, I just read Cobra's chat. One second. If you want that, I know a lot of you do. Friday, there's a post on my personal X, Paul Jarrett 16. That's going to have the official area you make your comment for your pick to click. Now, that's the post. Now, I did add a wrinkle. My buddy Moosey, G Moose, sold by Gerald on X, let me know, hey, don't let these people get away with a free thing. And you're right, Moose, you're right. I'd like to give away free things, but at least I can ask for is a follow. So if you follow the Paul Jarrett 16 page, and if you follow the Walk It Off Talk page, and you get the correct player to hit the first home run of the day, Friday, you win the ball. If multiple people choose the same, if you see somebody choose your player in the comments, don't freak out. If multiple people get it right, we're gonna write the names down, draw them out of a hat. It's gonna be a random winner. It's all gonna be videotaped and put on X. So it's all gonna be fair. I promise. I want to give this ball away. I don't want to keep it. I have no need for it. I have enough stuff. So make sure you post Friday. If no one hits Friday, it'll go to Saturday. Until someone wins it, it'll be up. And then I'm gonna try to get some more things throughout the season to give away because I just love this. It's fun. David said it's a fun tradition before baseball games, and I'm really enjoying it, to be completely honest with you. It's a fun engagement. And like I told AP and them the other night, if someone's complaining, which already are, it must be something fun. All right. Let's look at some more of the chats real quick. That's right. If you heard this on Stream Tuesday, come on, Steve, you got it. That was Cobra. He was the one yelling that from behind home plate in the club section. Am I right, Cobra? It's called the club section. I don't have that kind of money. I've never been in that nice of a seat. And of course, ice cream for the kids, except for my kids. They're too young. And I want them to go to sleep. Anyways, back to the LSU fan base as a whole. Now, we had a discussion about this last night with AP and David Billiot. Make sure you're following their pages. DC Billiot Jr. on X for David Billiot, AJP 413 for AP on X, and Timeouts and Tangents. I think it's TNT Pod Nola for the X channel. We had a discussion last night on Timeouts and Tangents about the fan bases, and I want to get your opinions down the chats. What's the worst fan base? LSU football or LSU baseball? Go do your thing, Curry. Go do your thing, buddy. This is the guy who makes all the graphics that we use in all the podcasts. He's absolutely awesome. Who's the worst fan base? LSU baseball or LSU football? In my opinion, it's baseball. Why is that your opinion, Paul? I'm glad you asked. So, I think it stems from everyone played baseball growing up for the most part, whether you played it recreationally, travel ball, high school ball, or in the backyard with friends or in the street. Everyone threw a ball and tried to hit it with a bat. The concept of the game is not hard, but people forget baseball is probably the hardest sport to play. Now, I know you'll have football players come in and say, well, we're more violent. Yeah, you are. Basketball players, oh, we're better and have better endurance. Yeah, you do. Still doesn't mean you can go out there and hit a round ball with a round bat with a ball moving about, I don't know. If Paul Skeens is throwing it, 102. If Jared Poche was throwing it, about 88. But it's knowing that you had played the game in the past makes you believe you know better than other people. Or maybe you coached your kid's T-ball team. It makes you think you're better than other people at the job. You don't. LSU football fans, towards the end, started questioning Brian Kelly at the end of his tenure. Towards the end of Matt House's tenure, they started questioning Matt House. But as long as the team is trying to succeed or trying to win, or you see they're giving effort, LSU football fans as a general, which I am a football fan, but I will classify myself as a LSU baseball fan, as you can see with everything behind me. LSU football fans will kind of let it go for the most part, unless it's going way downhill. AP brought up a great point last night. Ed Orgeron, does anyone truly believe that man coached a day as the LSU head coach in Baton Rouge? I know he ran the levee at noon every day with his shirt off. I don't know how much coaching he did. Guys like Steve Ensminger, Joe Brady, so on and so forth, coached the team. Joe Burrow coached the team in 19. You can't tell me he didn't. But as fans, we were like, hey, we're winning. Nothing to complain about. LSU baseball fans, after the first game of the year, I had already seen complaints. We were undefeated until Tuesday night against McNeese, and fans were already yelling to take players off the field. That player being Tanner Reeves. Shout out Tanner Reeves. I love you. And at the beginning of the year, I gave a lot of opinions on Tanner Reeves and what his role is going to be for this team. I called him the Ben Nipple 2.0. And a lot of people probably took that and heard that and said, well, I'm putting down him. No, I'm not. And I used this analogy last night to compare Tanner Reeves to Kiki Hernandez, a guy who plays baseball for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who just won a World Series, who has 3 World Series rings as a professional baseball player. And he's had some starting time, but that's always due to injury because he left the Dodgers, went to go be a full-time starter with the Red Sox. That didn't work out well, went back to L.A. Not a bad place to go if you want a ring right now. But Ben Nippolt in 23 filled a role in 23 and 24 for that matter, filled a role for his LSU Tigers baseball team that only he could fill. I don't think people truly understand how hard it is to sit on the bench in a dugout. Now, dugouts are great, and if you go deep dive, sometimes you'll see me on there with our buddy David Billiot if Mr. Nunez can't make it, and we're going to have a dugout segment. Back to what I was saying. How hard it is to sit in a dugout. Yeah, you can move around a little bit, especially at the box. You have, you could probably go down to the cage and hit inside or throw around a little bit. But how hard it is to sit there and not have a feel for the game as far as playing it and come off and be productive. It's one of the most difficult things in the world. That's what makes Dalton Beck's screamer base hit last year against Tennessee, which was the most important base hit of that baseball game until Jared Jones finished it over the batter's eye. So amazing. Dalton Beck, don't let me lie to you. I think he had single-digit at-bats all year up to that point. And he came up in a crucial spot and blasted one back up the middle. That's the role Tanner Reeves is filling for us this year. Ben Nippolt did it in 23 and 24. To be selfless enough to know that you are a D1 baseball player. You can go to any Division I team in the SEC and any other conference, probably ACC as well, and be a starter. But you're choosing to be here with the Tigers and help win, be a team player. And I can't tell you how happy I am to see Ben Nippolt on staff. Because if that man can sit there and learn from Jay Johnson and Nate Yeske and Chief Wanaka and Jamie Tucko, he's going to be a damn good baseball coach. A damn good baseball coach. People need to relax when it comes to Tanner Reeves. You need to relax. I know most of you, especially if you're in this chat, you don't have an issue with Tanner Reeves. I know you don't. But clip this. Send it to idiots because, well, we have some. And they're coming from all over. From Alabama, LSU fans, to I'm thinking that guy was from Oxford, LSU fans that blocked me and Dave the other night. Get off of them. And Tuesday night, it opened up a whole new bag of worms or box of worms or can of worms or whatever parcel you put your worms in for more takes and opinions and just stupidity from a fan base that I get it. We love our Tigers. We love our baseball team. We love the box. Skip Bertman built us something to love and care about. Treat it as you would your child playing the game. Treat it as that. Would you want someone looking at your child on the field in Alex Box Stadium wearing the gold jerseys on Sunday and here in the background, hey, that kid shouldn't be on the team. Hey, why does Jay have him still on the roster? No. Don't do it. Relax. Tanner Reeves is a great ball player. He's better than any of you in this chat. I promise you. He's going to be great. And I promise you, he's going to come up big for the Tigers at some point this year. Let's get to some of your chats in here. I see some of them coming in. We got 38 of you watching live. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very, very, very much. I'm not going to lie to you. Before we hit the live, I was pooping my pants. It's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking. Happy to see so many friends in here. All right. Sorry, I got messed up with the chat. All right. Cobra says, Deion Sanders played both and said hitting a baseball was the most difficult thing in the world. The thing about Deion Sanders, I'm not a Deion Sanders fan. He played for my Braves. Chop on. I saw a video recently. Deion was talking to what's his name? Dan Patrick, maybe. I think he was talking to Dan Patrick. And Dan Patrick he asked him about what's more difficult, playing football or playing baseball, and he kind of deflected the question, but he said that why am I misremembering the manager's name now? Anyways, he was playing for the Braves. They took him off the bench to pinch hit against Randy Johnson. Well, a lot of people don't know Deion Sanders swung left-handed, so Randy Johnson, big lefty, throwing hard. Which back in the day, like he was one of the hardest throwing guys in the league, throwing like 98. Now, geez. And he said, "Yeah, I went up there. I didn't care. I knew I wasn't going to hit it." That bothered me. That really bothered me. Tiger Joker, one of your Nostradamuses. By the way, shout out to Justin Babin from Babin on the Bayou. He is also a Nostradamus this week. They took down the venerable Zombie Bob, who I spoke with the commissioner. He can still put a pick in for pick to click. If y'all didn't know that Zombie was trolling y'all the other night, he was trolling you. He was trolling you. I swear, Zombie should have been a professional wrestler in the WWF. For saying he's not smarter than Jay. Yeah, that's because we got blocked for telling some idiot that he's not smarter than Jay Johnson. I'm gonna touch on that real quick. Jay Johnson has forgotten more baseball than anybody in Baton Rouge and state of Louisiana will ever learn. Realize that. A lot of you have a professional jobs here. A lot of you are lawyers or electricians or plant operators, and you know your job. There's an electrician in the chat right now. I promise you probably look at my electrical work and go, it won't burn your house down, but it's close. Yeah. It's cheaper on my part. Jay knows more baseball than you could ever possibly have. He's forgotten more baseball than you could ever possibly know. The guy lives it. Listen to the interview today. Jay was talking about how much he learned from Tuesday's loss. Now he hates having learning lessons like that through losses. But I want to give credit to Mikey Matuk for saying this on Tingle. You're going to learn who this team is now. Yeah, you think you know your team whenever you're winning and you're putting up 12, 11 run, they're shutting out UCF. Yeah, you think you know your team. How do they bounce back? And if you notice what I put on X the other night after the loss, because guys, they lost. Jacques Doucette said today he went back and did all the numbers for the 8 national championship teams. They averaged a 54-16 record. They lost 16 times on average. You got a few more losses to go. Now, Blake Ruffino said they were going to go 56-0. I know he was joking. And we all hoped it. We all want it. We all want the flagship school in the state to be like LSU Shreveport. There's a reason why teams like LSU Shreveport, Eunice, and Alexandria have so much talent. They're a feeder school for your flagship. Those guys aren't ready to come to the flagship school yet, so they're there playing. You're going to learn who this team is Friday when they play Dartmouth. And oh, boy. Dartmouth's in trouble. Dartmouth is in trouble. All of you want to talk about Kason Evans not being a Friday guy, just wait. Just wait. Get your popcorn ready. Kason Evans is going to have a big, big day Friday. Nick Curry, Reagan Ricken is looking impressive. He is. He's looking very, very good. He's a freshman. And Jay himself has said that he has a lot of plans for Reagan Ricken going into his career. I'm pretty sure I remember correctly. He believes he could be a Friday guy for the Tigers later on in his career. That's high praise. You notice who Jay has high praise for. There's two things you can notice. I am a sicko with baseball. All right. I look at every move the manager makes in the dugout to, you can ask David Billiot. We're sitting at the game, the opening day, and I'm staring in the dugout between pitches, and I text him, Dardar has a bat. He doesn't come in. Next inning, Dardar has a bat. I love Seth Dardar, by the way. Next inning, Dardar has a bat. I'm just waiting. I'm looking at the lineup going, who's he coming in for? Who's he coming in for? So me and my wife, of course, because she's learned from me, love watching Jay Johnson pace in the dugout, move around the dugout. I like to see how he reacts to calls by the umpire because he hides it really, really well. But if you watch him enough, you'll learn some stuff. The other night, Seth Dardar was in middle innings. He had an offensive timeout. Seth Dardar walked to the plate. He's in the box, and my wife tasked me and goes, "Hey, Jay was just kind of smiling." I'm gonna give y'all a little more insight a lot of people don't think about. You have a top 50 second baseman in the country. Playing left field. Seth Dardar, special, man. I've been trying to tell y'all that since the beginning of the year. So is Zach York. But I think people are starting to realize that. Chris DeMoy, how you doing, buddy? Like to see Harden get a shot over Reeves, in my opinion. So we can get back to Reeves real quick. Yeah, 100%. Right now, I believe this is more or less a trust time for Jay. I love Daniel Harden. He reminds me of a young Jared Mitchell from the left side of the plate. No, Jared, it's not because of what you think I'm saying that for. His swing looks awesome, and he's sweet in the field. I think he's seeing something we're not seeing at practice. That's why Harden hasn't been in the game more. Okay. And Tanner Reeves has earned the chance to be out there on the field. He's earned it. But no, Chris, my man, hope you like and follow. I agree with you. I'd love to see Daniel Harden get more playing time at left. That'll be an instance where if let's get into this. I didn't want to be any type of negative today. There's enough negativity in the world on X when it comes to LSU baseball. But let's be a little what's nervous about me with this team. Stanny's injury, I don't like that it's waiting so long. Don't go listen to those idiots. It's not a broken hand. If it was a broken hand, we wouldn't know. Hopefully, they're just being overly cautious with Stanny. But in the moment, Stanny's out. Other worries. Defensive catching. I love Beatty. Another guy, Jay Johnson, talks very high about. Aaron Beatty. And Omar Cerna. Omar Cerna is awesome as well. Beatty has to receive it better. And there's some throws down to second and third that are – I'm going to let the one trying to recreate Trey Morgan's magic in Omaha back to Casey Evans go. He's not going to do that again. But defensive catching worries me. I'm not worried about the bullpen. I'm not worried about starting pitching. That's a whole nother topic for another day. We don't have enough time today. Not worried about that. I am kind of worried about third base defense. Either we've been playing a lot of fast white boys in non-con, or our defense at third base has been kind of slow. Tanner Reeves didn't do great at third last year. That's probably why you see him more in left and not at third with Daniel Harden in left. But I agree, Chris. I'd love to see Daniel Harden in left field. DeMoy, David saying, what's up? I'm just – all right. People act like the two-time national championship winning coach. They act like they're the two-time national championship winning coach. Yeah, they do. They 100% do. It's preposterous. The man won 2 in 3 years. Okay. What year? David, Joker, Cobra. What year did Skip get here? I think it was 87 or 88, correct? 87 or 88, correct? Now, baseball was a different animal back then. I mean, Skip built what we have. Skip built what gave Jay the opportunity to do what he's doing. But it took Skip a few years to win one. Now, Skip won one basically coach a Miami team before he came to Louisiana. But it took a couple years for Skip to win one here. Jay did it his second year. He made it to a regional his first year with a team that should never sniff the postseason tournament. He almost won a regional with a team who didn't know each other's last names. I'm being hyperbolic when I say that, but they weren't as close knit as 23, 25, or 2016. Jay's a hell of a coach, man. Just give him a chance to do it. Leave the man alone. Let him work. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Just enjoy the game. Go get you a dog at the stadium. Cobra believes the ones that downstairs on the grandstand are better than any in the suite. He would know. He lives that fine dining lifestyle. Joker, you got to let me know what you meant by this except for Skip, because I'm going off on tangents and I don't know what you're talking about. I would hate to be Dartmouth tomorrow. No doubt. Look, Jay Johnson is not. I've played for some diamond in the rough, terrible people in my life. I've met some of the greatest baseball minds I've ever met in the world. Luckily, unfortunately, one of them was just a terrible human being. That's neither here nor there. Jay is not that guy. Jay is not going to be the guy who pulls an Augie Garrido speech in the locker room after a loss. The one we all know and love. It's one of my favorite. It brings me back to good memories, weirdly enough. That's not Jay. I made the joke Jay's gonna be pulling out a fungo bat in the dugout as a joke, meaning fungo bat to a cooler. I don't know if they even have fungo bats anymore in the dugout with all those machines they have. But he's gonna quietly lead this team to a revenge moment Friday. There ain't nobody better on the mound to do it than Casey Evans. I think Friday is going to be a big day for Casey Evans. Jared's very, very, very true. Billy knows what Jay is going to do based on the speed in which he walks. If you have not figured out, if Jay jogs to the mound, there is no way he's making a change to the pen. That's what I love about. See, that's another thing I love about Jay. His gamesmanship and the way he controls a game and the way because there's no clock on baseball. There's a somewhat clock now. That's neither here nor there. He knows how to manipulate back and forth. I'm going to take a mound visit this guy some more time. I'm going to just casually stroll to the mound when I'm going to make a change. I see someone I need to see wrong. Let me get out there. That's very true. Very, very true. Chris DeMoy, really interested to see Northeastern usually swing it well in a regional team most years. That you're absolutely right. Listen, I did a little research today before the show, just so I wouldn't be a complete idiot when it came to Dartmouth and Northeastern. I don't know their combined records, but I can tell you how many wins they have on one finger. Dartmouth has a new head coach, and he got his first win of his career as a head coach at Dartmouth in the season opener. Now for Northeastern, which let me bring something up real quick. One thing I thought was really cool about Northeastern is if you go look at their schedule, which I should have brought the graphic up and posted it, shouldn't I? I'll learn for next time. They play the Boston Red Sox, or a version of the ball. I say a version of the Boston Red Sox because they're not going to be seeing top line arms, top line bats. They play the Boston Red Sox every year in spring training. It's a tradition. It's a tradition. You got to tell from Louisiana the way I speak. It's a tradition for Northeastern. And funny enough, Northeastern in the second inning had a 2-1 lead on the Boston Red Sox. It didn't end that way. The Red Sox beat them 18-3. But the Northeastern, where are they? What's their mascot? They don't have their mascot on their page. Huskies are winless. They're 0-6. They lost. The last two losses came to Minnesota and Fort Myers by scores of 12-2 with 7-inning game and 15-5 in a 7-inning game. So I would never sit here and doubt Northeastern because look at McNeese. Look at McNeese. They bail you out. I was surprised not to see Harden in Jacksonville. I was too. We all know why he didn't go in there Sunday. I still think he should have hit him. But I was too. I think Jacksonville, especially against Notre Dame and Indiana, would have been great games to get some young guys in. I'm not the coach of the team. I'm not judging what Jay did or didn't do in Jacksonville. But I thought it would have been a good time to get some young guys in. I think Jay planned on getting guys like Daniel Harden in Tuesday. It didn't really go that well. We're going to see him here eventually. I can almost guarantee we'll see Daniel Harden this weekend. Just because you got 4 games in 4 days, your guys kind of he's going to want to kind of get some guys some type of rest before we get into SEC play. I think that's all it is for Stanley. Dude's been an SEC star for 3 years. They know what he is. Exactly. That's one thing. That's one thing I will say about LSU baseball fans. Let me give some credence, some credit to LSU baseball fans, even though they do enough things to lose all credit. A guy like Stanley, who LaCobra is still on a bet with me that he's going to hit 3 home runs this year because he hit 3 in Auburn. That's not going to happen, but you're still on the hook for that, Cobra. Stanley is a guy who didn't catch a lot of flack for not having much power because I can't remember how many extra base hits he had last year. I don't think it was that many for a guy with his speed because he's a base hit single guy. He's going to give you a hard worm burner through the infield or a short frozen rope in the shallow left. And that's all you need. The guy led the SEC in batting average last year. You thought it was somebody else. And that came to my mind now. I'm gonna backtrack to Reeves a little bit. We had an idiot from Birmingham. Anybody watch Peaky Blinders? Birmingham. An idiot from Birmingham telling me Tanner Reeves is the worst player on the field last year, and his errors, he led the team in errors. And it's gonna be a quick tangent, and I'm getting off of it. If you're saying his errors cost him the ability to be on the roster, then Jared Jones shouldn't have been on the roster because Jared Jones led the team in errors last year. It's kind of like math. If you can do the problem this way and it works, you should be able to do the problem this way, and it should work, right? I don't know. I went to school in Louisiana. Harden can hit bombs too. Really excited for him next year, not to discount any contributions he will make this year. No doubt. I want everybody to live in I want you to live in the moment as far as enjoying it. But let's look ahead a little bit. quite possibly you could lose your whole outfield. A part of me thinks we won't lose the whole outfield, but you could theoretically lose your whole outfield. You can theoretically lose your entire infield aside from catcher. Who's going to be back? Kason Evans, William Schmidt, Cade Arabidi. Jake Brown's going to get drafted. Even though some of you want him off the team after North Carolina, Derek Carriel could get drafted. He could. Stanny should get drafted. Milam's going to get drafted. Dardar, I hope he gets drafted. God, I'd love to see him play some professional ball. I love that kid. Big Papa is going to get drafted. That big son of a gun, he's going to hit 20 this year, and he's going to get a massive payday. Drake Carraway is going to get drafted. Drake Carraway is a damn good player. Oregon State was not happy he left. We were very lucky he did. So you're going to look at a whole new field next year. You're going to look at Daniel Harden in left. You're going to have a place to put Mason Braun. Does Braun go to first? Does Omar Cerna go to first when he's not catching? Is it more of a Travinsky Milazzo thing? Ethan Kloss is going to be your shortstop. Ruckert's going to be at second base. John Pearson's probably going to be your third baseman. Who plays right field? Is it William Patrick in center if Curiel leaves? Or is he in right because Curiel doesn't leave? Enjoy this team that we have. I can't express the amount of depth we have in this roster. It's insane. Enjoy it. Enjoy it this year. AP, what's up, my man? It's cooking instead of hanging out with us, man. But I love it. I love you, AP. I love you. Cook that Jimmy John's. David Bell, you had 84. So, okay. That proves my point. It took Skip 7 years. 7. To win his first natty here in Baton Rouge. Now, Jay hadn't been here 7 years. He has 2. Let's look at. I'm trying to remember how long it took Skip to win his first 2. Off the top of my head, 91, 93, right? So 23, 25, same trajectory. I think he can win 2 in a row, back to back, 3 and 4 years, 3 and 5 years in total. And people want to complain about him. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. There you go. Cobra with the full stat, hired April 25th, 1983 for the 84 season. Hired middle of the year. Hired middle of the year. If anybody can name me right now it is 6:44. I'm going to look in the chat by 6:46. If you can name me the former manager of the LSU Baseball Tigers, you have a free entry into the William Schmidt Ball, and you do not have to comment. You have to send me your pick to. With Jay, you're not the one. You're not the only one. Joker said, "Except Skip when you mentioned Jay has forgotten more baseball than anyone in BR knows." That's so. I'm not trying to plug. I'll plug somebody else. Will Helmers has a podcast now called Louisiana Loaded, and they had on Doug Thompson last week. And I love listening to Doug Thompson speak, man. There's something about Doug Thompson. I feel like it's just, I don't know. I love Doug Thompson. Love him in the booth. I wish it was just him and Chris at all times. I'd love to see Dougie and Lynn Rollins one day. That'd be a fun booth. But Doug Thompson came on. He was talking about the relationship Skip still has with this program, and that the respect that guys like Jay, Simpson, Wanaka, and Tucko have for him. Now, we all know, unfortunately, one day we will live in a world of LSU baseball where Skip is no longer attending games at the box. It honestly makes me sad to think about. I'll tell you a funny story about Skip. So As you see, I have the jersey behind me. I love Skip Burtman. My wife, when we met, she wasn't a big baseball fan. She liked baseball mostly for the pants. But going through the 22 season with me after we got married, 23 season, she during the middle of 23 season, she kind of caught the bug. I kind of, affected her with the baseball bug. And I'm at home. I'm not at home one day. I come home and she is like on rest with the birth of our first child. Wasn't like anything serious. She was just, needing a rest. And she ended up catching that SEC story program about hold the rope with Skip. After that, she went and found the quote Skip uses about you ardently desire must come to pass. Had it printed on a page and put in my son's nursery before he was born. And when we sold that house, she said, doesn't Skip live in that neighborhood? Well, give you an idea what neighborhood I live in, how much we love Skip. But go listen to that show with Will Helmers and Doug Thompson. It's called Louisiana Loaded. I'm gonna shout out Will Helmers. It's a great podcast, and the amount of love that Tucko and them guys have for Skip, I love to see it. Every year, I'll wait for baseball season to come back around because, especially after he lost his beautiful wife last year, I knew baseball kind of is his fountain of youth. If he could play baseball all year, Skip would never die. Skip would never die. Saying he led the SEC in doubles for almost the whole season until the back half. Okay. All right. So I didn't think he had that many extra base hits. Thank you, David. Well, before the injury, I said he would hit 3 home runs. Before the injury, I said he would hit 3 home runs. Him missing the first month of the season versus all non-SEC pitching kind of hurt that take. I don't know. Why do you say it hurts that take? I did say in the season preview me and Bill Yacht did with AP that a guy like Seth Dardar and Zach York's production would jump because they see better pitching. With better pitching, you get better strikes, bigger misses, longer bombs. All right. Let's talk about this weekend. Let's talk about Dartmouth and Northeastern. Dartmouth, I'll be completely honest with you, I didn't do a whole lot of research on them. They are an Ivy League team, and I'm going to treat them as such. They're going to not miss their homework this weekend. They're going to get all their classwork done, and they're coming to play baseball against us and Grambling State, which I saw that on the schedule, by the way. They're playing State as well. We're not playing Grambling State. I wonder if they're doing like a run-robin tournament. Yeah, because Northeastern plays Grambling State at 1 at the box, and we play – then they play us Saturday at the box. So I guess Grambling State and LSU are sharing the box against Dartmouth and Northeastern. Unless we are playing Grambling State Monday, which I don't think we are. I think we're playing Northeastern again. I'm not really worried about Dartmouth. I think they're in for a world of hurt Friday. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for those guys. Northeastern. Let me get your name right, sir. Mr. Chris DeMoy. Hope I'm getting that right. If I'm not, I apologize. My last name is not up here, but people are wrong. You're right. Northeastern is usually great with the bat. They're usually a perennial regional team. They were a 2 seed last year, if I had to recollect. Listen to our buddy David Billiot at Go Deep Dive with his buddy Zach Nunez. You would have also learned that they had lost a lot of talent to the portal, and they lost a lot of talent to the draft. With the state of college athletics as it is right now, how well can a team like Northeastern truly retool? That's where it becomes kind of a question mark to me. With the forthcoming, I believe, choice by Major League Baseball to get rid of the high school drafting time or the ability to be drafted out of high school, I think that's coming down the pipe. I think it's going to be forced college time. which will help teams like Northeastern because now you'll have guys who look. The greatest baseball player I ever played with couldn't get into LSU. Now, I don't know if Northeastern's a high academic standard university, but maybe they can get guys who would otherwise get drafted out of high school. The guy I knew didn't go to, he got drafted, didn't take it, went to college, ended up having a great pro career. Shout out. But maybe they're able to get the guys who don't have the academics maybe to get into a place like LSU because Jay also recruits not only talent but the person and the family. So if you want your kids to play at LSU one day, you better be a good dad and you better have a good family. But and team that's one thing I hate about this new style of college athletics. You're losing some of the parity because kids are going to funnel to bigger programs. It's the way it is. Now, baseball is not going to have the NIL deals that football has. Baseball is not a money making sport. LSU baseball is one of the only programs in the country who breaks even if they make a profit. If they make a profit, it's a very small one. I think, don't get me wrong, I think LSU football netted $60 to $70 million last year, somewhere in that nature. LSU baseball broke even. It's very hard for college baseball to have the NIL money. But I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and doubt a team like Northeastern or really Dartmouth because that's one thing I love about baseball. You're not playing them, you're playing the ball. Playing this little thing. It has the same stitches, same amount of stitches as a Catholic rosary. There's your fun fact for the day. All right, before we close this out, let's go look at some more chats, and then we're going to get out of here. And don't forget to come join me and Justin Babin on the Bayou tonight. Also, check out Zach Nunez on Timeouts and Tangents with AP. They're going to talk about behind the scenes, working with a news agency reporting on sports, some other fun stuff. It's going to be a cool show tonight. Dave Belliot. Dardar has a lot of experience crushing Ivy League pitching. He does. Would we be able to say Dardar's the smartest player on the LSU baseball team this year? Man graduated Columbia in 2 years. Now, I call him a man because he actually is a college graduate. God, you got to love a guy. And every show, I'm going to talk about this guy because I want to pump his name so much. Gavin Guidry. Just Gavin Guidry. Boosie Guidry. I'm not a big Garrett Nussmeier fan. I'm not going to hide it. He should get the same love as a Garrett Nussmeier, if not more. I don't know. Everybody should love on him some more. But yes, Dardar is going to go Dardar this weekend. Cobra. Certainly doesn't help that gosh, dog it. My computer's acting stupid. 1 second. I apologize. All right. Dardar is sorry. I mean, it sure doesn't help the take. He's out injured. You're right. I'm not going to let you live it down. Dardar is the truth. My favorite player to root for this year. No doubt. I'm not going to lie. Been a big, I've said it to everybody. I'll say it again. That home run he hit in the spring side of scrimmages that hit the light pole. I love John Eads. Make sure you follow John Eads, the hardest working man in Baton Rouge. The video didn't do it justice. That thing was the hardest. I said hardest, not furthest. Hardest baseball I've ever seen hit in Alec Box. I pick a guy preseason to ride with him. My wife and I do as well. My guy this year was Dardar. And she is still riding with Milam because her favorite number is 4, and you can't help but love Milam. York for me, Cobra. It's not a bad guy to pick, Joker. Big Papa is who he is. Well, we did it. First episode's down. Look, y'all are going to make me emotional. 61 of you are in here watching right now. That's insane. That's insane. I don't think I have 61 phone numbers in my phone. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had fun. I'm open to criticism. I'm open to suggestions. This is not only my show, this is for everyone. I want to have fun with it. So my DMs are open at Walk It Off Talk on X, as well as Paul Jarrett 16. Remember, Paul Jarrett 16 is where you can get the William Schmidt signed baseball. It is not JSA certified. I don't have that kind of money to spend on giving stuff away. But all of you in the chat, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. To everybody it matters to, gang, gang, and to everyone, whether you see us in a clip or watching it live or watching a replay, God loves you. All he wants you to do is love you back. All he wants you to do is love him back. Signing off. Let's walk it off.